Coming up on Takedown with Chris Hansen.
Hey, I'm going to need you to sit. No, you don't want to do that.
This man in Harford County, Maryland.
And what do you do for a living, Ivan?
Federal employee.
A federal employee.
Is living a double life.
That's a big secret to keep from your wife.
To anybody.
But I'm going to get the truth out of him.
And what made you do it tonight?
Yes, my urges got the best of me.
But you did it anyway.
I regret it.
Yeah, I would think so.
I hope you're enjoying this free full episode of Takedown on our YouTube channel. But there's something you need to know. There are literally hundreds of new episodes either in production or on our streaming channel right now, uncensored, all on WatchTruBlu.com. Use the code YouTube26 to watch all of the episodes for $2.50, or for an annual subscription, use YouTube Year for $20 off. Also, and this is very important, hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on TruBlu. I'm with the Harford County, Maryland Sheriff's Office for its investigation into men looking to exploit and victimize children. Before my crew can even finish setting up the hidden cameras at the Sting House, Detective Sergeant Stavros Kolumbihis gets a call from a chatter who is still at the sheriff's office that a man is coming to meet a 14-year-old boy that he wants to meet now. We hustle to get the details.
We were hot and heavy on. He was telling me, all the kind of stuff that he wants to do. He's very well aware that I'm 14. He was explaining that he has a wife and a kid, so he has to be careful. All right, so where we're at now in this conversation is, he says he's not sure when the wife will be home. He would have to come over now. I said, yeah, that's cool. I'm going to jump in the shower. I'll be ready by the time you get there. So tonight he's talking about he wants to suck each other off. He wants to do the water sports. He wants to pee on me because it makes him come really hard. Also, I did ask him, and I think this is relevant. I said, you ever been with a younger guy like me? He goes, yeah, maybe a year or two older than you, but it was a while ago.
So I'd be 15, 16.
And you're 14 in this scenario?
Correct. I said, we're doing it.
Yeah, give it about 5 minutes and then we should be able to send it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll call you right back. All right. So here's what I want to do. I'm going to get a hold of them to figure out where this, where our UC is.
Right.
For sure. We're going to get him. I want to get him implanted here before.
Right. No, that's smart.
Off chance.
Yeah.
That this guy is.
I mean, if he's 10 minutes away.
Yeah.
But see, the guys who go on this particular platform are guys
that will meet
his
up.
profile. They've got a secret life. They got other stuff going on. They got a wife. They got kids. We had one guy who was the CEO of an assisted living facility.
ASAP.
Yeah.
Come be waiting to send. I'm on the phone with him. He's 2 minutes out.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna have the SID pull you up and bring you here, and then insert you, and then we're gonna send the
Right away.
Real quick.
No hesitation whatsoever. We've got to
I'll
help.
brief you when you get here. It's not gonna be hard.
Once he's in SID's car, we'll give the address.
Yeah, when you get an SID's car phone, all this number. Thank you.
So that's what we'll do.
While the decoy makes a mad dash to the Sting House, we learn the man on his way is 41-year-old Ian from Aberdeen, Maryland. The decoy arrives in the nick of time. He leads Ian into the house.
Sit down. How's it going?
Alright. It's crazy.
Yeah. I haven't done anything like this before, so I'm a little nervous too.
I thought you said you have. So I thought you said you have.
Oh, no. Sometimes, yeah, I don't know. You mind if I grab my vape real quick?
Sure.
Sorry.
Well, there's no vape, just me.
Hey, I'm going to need you to sit. No, you don't want to do that.
Rather than run out the door, the man finds himself cornered in the laundry room, where he's swiftly taken into custody by the Harford County Sheriff's Office.
Going back here.
Ian is brought back to the dining room, where he can no longer run from me nor my questions.
See?
Let's do that.
Right here. Come right here, bud.
Why'd you take off like that?
You're stupid.
Stupid. What's your name? Is it Ian?
It's Ivan.
Ivan. And how old are you, Ivan?
41.
41. Tell me how you ended up here tonight.
It's just in a bad place.
In a bad place. Tell me about that place you're in.
Well, where's my glasses?
They'll find them. Tell me about that bad place you're in, Ivan.
I really don't want to say anymore.
You don't want to say anymore. Well, you were very chatty online with someone who said they were a 14-year-old boy. You said you wanted to suck each other off. You talked about water sports. What was that all about?
It's just a fetish.
Just a fetish. In other words, you wanted to urinate on the boy to get some sort of sexual gratification. Explain that to me. Why a 41-year-old man would do that, Ivan.
I don't know.
You don't know. Are you married?
Yes.
You're married. And how long have you been married, Ivan?
I have no idea. I'm going to explain this.
How long have you been married?
5 years.
5 years. And do you have children?
Yes.
And how old are your children?
14 and 11.
14 and 11. So you have a child the same age as the child you thought you were going to visit tonight for water sports and oral sex.
I didn't know what I was getting myself into, obviously.
Well, you did because you talked to somebody who said they were 14 on a site that is meant for hookups. Right? Why does somebody go on that site unless they want to meet someone else for sex? Now, if that someone else is an adult, nobody really cares. When it's a child, a whole lot of people care.
Water, please.
Yes, we'll get you some water. Stay right there. Don't move.
I'm like a lawyer.
You can't move, okay? Here, your glasses.
Thank you.
Now, this becomes very difficult because you decided to run. Let me give you a sip. Good? Okay. How are you going to explain this to your wife?
No idea.
Where does she think you are?
She thinks I'm just a loving person. We just came back from a concert.
What concert did you go see?
Ocean's Calling in Ocean.
What is it?
Ocean's Calling in Ocean City.
Ocean's Calling. And who was playing at the concert?
All kinds of bands.
Yeah, and so you hung out with your lovely wife of 5 years at the concert. Did the kids go or you left them behind?
Yeah, just us.
And who did the kids stay with?
Their mom.
Their mom? Your mom or?
Never. Their mom.
Their mom. So your wife is not the mother of those children. Okay. And the 14-year-old child of yours, is that a boy or a girl?
I have 2 boys.
2 boys.
I've never done anything appropriate with them, so just putting that out there.
You've never done anything appropriate with your boys?
Yes, inappropriate.
Inappropriate. But you see why there would be some concern here, because you came here tonight after talking about having oral sex and water sports with a 14-year-old boy, and you have a 14-year-old son, along with another son. Do those boys live with you?
Yes.
They do.
Half-time.
Half-time. So you share custody with your ex-wife, their mom. And how's this going to go over in the divorce agreement?
How
And what do you do for a living, Ivan?
federal employee.
A federal employee. And for which branch of the federal government do you work?
DoD.
DOD. Are you at Aberdeen?
Yes.
And what do you do for the Department of Defense?
Technical writer, editor.
You're a what?
Technical writer, editor.
A technical writer and editor. And what does that entail?
Editing reports and other documents.
About what?
All kinds of stuff. Or public health.
Public health. And is any of this classified?
No.
So you're a technical editor and writer handling public health issues for the Department of Defense. And how long have you held that job?
Over 20 years.
20 years. And what makes somebody who has such a position of responsibility with the federal government, the Department of Defense, or Department of War, as it's being called now, come out on a Monday night at 8:42 to try to have sex with a child?
It's not good.
It's not good.
No.
What was going on in your mind, Ivan, to make you think this was okay?
I don't know.
I don't know isn't a great answer.
I've had issues before, and I went to therapy, and I thought it was under control. Obviously, it's not.
You said you had issues.
Yeah.
What were those issues?
I was accused of sending photos to a minor. That was investigated and nothing came of it. They took my computers voluntarily. Yeah, I don't. The case was closed.
So you were investigated for sending sexualized photos to a minor.
Yes.
And how old was the child in that case?
I believe the tip said it was 15.
15. And what did the pictures show? What was in the pictures?
It was probably my genitalia.
Your genitalia. And why would you send pictures of your genitalia to somebody who was 15?
I wasn't. At that time, I was conversing with people I didn't know, and I think one of them just happened to be that, and or I'm not sure.
You're not sure, but you got away with it in that case.
Well, I wouldn't say get away with it.
You were cleared.
Yes.
You were not prosecuted. And have you been investigated for this sort of thing any other time?
No.
Have you ever met somebody who was underage online for sex?
No.
You know, they're going to go through your computers, your phone, the whole thing. So you might as well tell me now.
I have not.
You have not. Do you have,
I've met other adults.
you've met other adult males online for sex?
Yes.
Does your wife know that you have a sexual attraction to men and boys?
No.
That's a big secret to keep from your wife,
To anybody.
to anybody. So what do you say to your wife?
I don't know. She's not gonna be happy, I'm sure.
No, I think that's the understatement of the evening. She's not going to be happy. What does she do for a living?
Production analyst.
Also for DOD
No, in Pennsylvania.
in Pennsylvania.
Sweating really bad.
Yeah, I can imagine you're sweating really bad. You know, I asked you not to leave. And that would have allowed us to have this conversation with you not in handcuffs. But that's not the choice you made. So you understand why you have to be in handcuffs, right? All right. So you're telling me you've never met anybody underage online for sex in the past?
Yes, sir.
And what made you do it tonight?
I guess my urges got the best of me.
Your urges got the best of you.
I was vulnerable.
You were vulnerable. So you're the victim here.
No, not at all.
What do you think the impact would have been on a 14-year-old boy had you, in fact, met one tonight and engaged in oral sex, as you said, suck each other off, and water sports? What do you think the impact on a 14-year-old boy would have been?
It's probably manipulative.
Manipulative. You don't think that could have wrecked somebody's psyche for the rest of their lives?
I'm really not sure.
You're not sure. Do you think it would have been a good thing to teach this boy about sex?
No.
No. And how would you feel, Ivan, if somebody came over to the house where your 14-year-old boy was and engaged in sex acts with him? How would you feel about that?
Probably be enraged.
You would be enraged.
Yes.
And what would you do to that man? What would you do?
I don't know.
You don't know. So what should happen to you then?
I feel like I do need help.
You do need help,
Yes.
but you've sought help in the past. You've had therapy.
Yes, but I didn't dive deep enough.
You didn't dive deep enough. Is there anything in your past, in your childhood, in your history that would make you have a proclivity towards underaged
I think
males?
Probably being exposed to the internet at a young age.
Mm-hmm.
It opened those doors, and I could not find a way to shut them.
All right. So it's the internet's fault, the addictive nature,
Yes.
the anonymity.
Yes.
Did you at all think on the way over here that it might have been a bad idea?
Yes.
And why did you, in spite of that, continue?
I guess curiosity.
Curiosity about water sports and sucking each other off with a 14-year-old boy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Not good.
not good. Not good at all.
I knew better.
You knew better. But you did it anyway.
I regret it.
Yeah, I would think so. Well, Ivan, there's something else you need to know.
Yes.
And that is I'm Chris Hansen, and I do stories on men who try to sexually exploit children. And you are now in one of those stories. Is there anything else you want people to know about what you did tonight and the situation you are in now?
Just don't do it.
Don't do it. And what do you say to your wife?
I'm so sorry. I need to do this.
You didn't mean to do it, but you did it.
It's a choice that I made, and I shouldn't have.
Yeah,
Life is all about choices.
sure is.
Good and bad. I chose the wrong one.
And you see why it would be difficult for somebody like me to believe you've never done this before.
I know.
Uh,
You're in that position, but
yeah, it makes it hard for me to believe that.
uh,
And if you were me, would you believe that?
I probably wouldn't.
Probably wouldn't. All right. So what should happen to you now, Ivan? How do we make sure you never try to hook up with a child again?
I think I need some kind of
Intervention?
yes.
Okay. Well, you're going to get some intervention tonight, Ivan, because the people with the Harford County Sheriff's Office are here, and they're going to take the situation over at this point, okay? Anything else you have to say to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, they're going to take it from here.
While we wait for the Harford County Sheriff's Office lead detective, I have a couple more questions for Ivan.
What did you tell your wife before you left the house?
She was getting her daughter in Pennsylvania. She's on her way back down,
Okay.
so she has no idea.
Okay. So she's not even home right now.
No.
What time was she due home?
She's on her way.
She's on her way. And what time is she supposed to get home?
About 30 minutes.
30 minutes, right. And you're not going to be there, are you? So you were going to sneak out, have sex with a boy, and get back in time for you to be there to be the loving husband.
Is it possible for me to go there so I can explain at least to her face?
That part of it is not up to me. So you're going to have to deal with the folks here.
Yes, sir.
All right. So right now, your wife is driving from Pennsylvania after picking up her daughter. And how old is her daughter? 11. And she has no clue whatsoever that you're going to sneak out of the house for water sports and oral sex with a 14-year-old boy. That's some serious collateral damage, Ivan.
Yes. Can she trust me?
I don't know. How can anybody trust you? Because I think if we were not here and a 14-year-old boy was here, you would have engaged in sex with him. And I'm at a loss to come to any other conclusion, Ivan. Well, they're going to transport you, and they'll explain the rest of the process from here.
Sir, what's your first name?
Ivan.
Ivan. All right. Ivan, a detective might talk to you momentarily. All right. Just hang tight for us.
Think we'll do. But you must stand up for me. I'm going to just search you real quick. Sure. While we're sitting here.
I feel like my life is over.
You have any like drugs or anything on this?
No, sir.
Powders?
No, sir.
Do you have a security clearance, Ivan?
Yes.
What level?
Secret.
Secret. So the government of the United States has given you a secret security clearance.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen to that after time?
Probably go away.
Yeah.
Ivan faces more questioning from the Harford County Sheriff's Office as he's being charged with sexual solicitation of a minor. We'll keep you posted on the case against him. Harford County, Maryland Sheriff Jeff Gaylor is just as surprised as I am about Ivan's employment status and home life, but thankfully it's investigations like this that expose these men for who they really are.
One of the men who showed up at the Sting House was a government employee, worked for the Department of Defense, had a secret security clearance, came to meet a 14-year-old boy, and he had a 14-year-old son himself.
Sure. And you got to wonder about the safety of that family, of that child. And I think there were other children in the house or
Children
around
and
that
stepchildren.
individual. Yes. You got to wonder about if this individual is willing to go to those lengths. And again, this is a trusted government employee who's passed the background. I used to have the one under top secret. I used to have a clearance. I mean, that's involved to get that, and this person passed that. And yet, here's what they're doing on the internet. Here's what they're doing, trying to hook up with children for illegal sexual encounters. Again, there's no other way to describe them other than just it's a sickness.
He admitted to me in the interview that he had been investigated before for allegedly sending sexually inappropriate material in a group chat that included a 15-year-old boy. And he said he was cleared in that case. But the fact that he even got dusted up in something like that and then still showed up
Sure.
in this particular investigation, that is disturbing.
Oh, it's disturbing, and there's no way that this is his first repeat offense. He's been doing this. We all know that if he did it before and maybe got cleared of whatever he was charged with in that instance, but he was making inappropriate comments or advances towards what he thought were children or maybe were children in that instance, this is stuff he's done up until this arrest. For sure. I can't say 100%, but I'll say 99.9%. He's done this kind of thing, and yet now, because of the sting operation, we've been able to identify him and charge him.
He told me in our interview that he needed help, he needed therapy. What do you think he needs?
Oh, I think he needs to be in jail, and I think our community needs to be safe first and foremost, and whatever programs they want to give him in jail, but there needs to be bars between people like this and children out there in the community, because for every one that we do catch, there's probably tens or hundreds of others that we're not catching. They're still out there trying to make these legitimate rendezvous where they're meeting up with children who are becoming victims. So bars are the best answer for that.
WatchTruBlu.com is home to the full library of Takedown with Chris Hansen true crime documentaries and exclusive investigations. To hear more about the men caught in my predator investigations, listen to my podcast, Predators I've Caught with Chris Hansen. In this series, I dig deep inside the crimes, inside the minds of the predators, and I'll tell you where they are today. Predators I've Caught, available wherever you get your podcasts.